Have you ever wondered what Warren Buffett, one of the greatest investors of all time, is doing with his billions? Well, you're in luck because Berkshire Hathaway just dropped their latest portfolio update, revealing every single move Buffett made last quarter. From surprising new buys to massive sell-offs, there's a lot going on behind the scenes. But what's really catching everyone's attention is the jaw-dropping amount of cash he's sitting on right now, and what he might be planning to do with it. If you're curious about what Buffett knows that the rest of us don't, stick around. This video is about to dive into the latest secrets from the Oracle of Omaha's playbook. And if you're interested in investing, I would appreciate it if you subscribe on my channel. It helps me grow and make more valuable content about investing. Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway just released their latest Form 13F, and this document is like a treasure map for anyone interested in what the Oracle of Omaha has been up to. It reveals every move Buffett made last quarter and gives us an updated look at his entire portfolio. Spoiler alert, there's a lot to unpack. Let's start with something that jumps right off the page: Berkshire's massive cash position. Right now, the company is sitting on more cash than almost any time in its history. Just to put that in perspective, Berkshire's cash grew from around $108 billion in the second quarter of 2022 to a staggering $189 billion by the first quarter of 2024. But here's where things really get interesting. In the second quarter of this year, Berkshire's cash position ballooned to $277 billion. That's an enormous amount of money just sitting there, not being invested. Now, what's Buffett planning with all this cash? He hasn't given us a ton of details, but it's clear that he's perfectly comfortable with it. This brings us to our second key takeaway: Buffett's buys and sells. To get a closer look at what he's been buying and selling, I turned to a handy website called Dataroma. This site lets us see all of Buffett's 41 different positions, from the additions and new buys to the sells and reduced positions. There's a lot to digest here, but let's highlight some of the more interesting moves. One of the biggest surprises was the large reduction in his Apple position. Yes, Apple, the tech giant that once made up more than half of Berkshire's entire portfolio. Buffett cut his stake in Apple by nearly half, reducing it by 49.33%. That's a huge move, especially when you consider that Apple has been a standout performer. In the second quarter of 2023, Apple made up 51% of Berkshire's portfolio. Now it's down to about 30.9%. Despite this reduction, Apple is still one of Berkshire's largest holdings, partly because of its incredible stock performance, up 23.5% over the past year, and a jaw-dropping 337% over the past 5 years. Buffett has now been selling Apple shares for 3 quarters in a row. When asked why, he mentioned tax reasons, but also hinted that he likes having a larger cash position. It's a fascinating move, especially considering how well Apple has done. Now let's talk about another interesting move. Buffett completely sold out of Paramount Global. This is a bit surprising because Berkshire only started buying into Paramount in the first quarter of 2022. He even added more capital throughout that year. But since then, Paramount stock has dropped a massive 68%, while the overall market has gone up. This is a good reminder that even Warren Buffett doesn't always get it right. Investing isn't about following someone else's moves blindly. It's about understanding your own risk tolerance, goals, and time horizon. Here's another key point. Berkshire Hathaway has now been a net seller of stocks for the 7th straight quarter. In the second quarter, Buffett sold over $77 billion worth of stocks. That's more than he's ever sold in any single year, let alone in just one quarter. To put it into perspective, he only bought about $1.6 billion worth of stocks last quarter. That's a huge gap, and tells us that Buffett is clearly focusing on building up that cash pile. But what about the stocks he's betting big on? Well, this is nothing new for Buffett. He's always had a concentrated portfolio. Despite having 41 positions, 90.48% of Berkshire's portfolio is tied up in just his top 10 stocks, and 73% is in the top 5. Apple is still a major holding even after the big reduction, followed by Bank of America, American Express, Coca-Cola, and Chevron. Buffett's portfolio is filled with names you'd expect. Bank of America at around 14.67%, American Express at 12.54%, and Coca-Cola, a position he's held forever, at 8.15%. Then there's Chevron, which he slightly reduced this quarter but still makes up about 6.63% of the portfolio. Other notable names include Occidental Petroleum, Kraft Heinz, and Moody's. Now, let's zoom in on something that caught my eye. Buffett's new addition, Ulta Beauty. This is a small position in his portfolio, but it's intriguing. Ulta is a specialty retail company, and although retail isn't always the most popular sector, Ulta stands out for its strong financials. Even though it doesn't pay a dividend, it's been showing impressive growth in revenue, free cash flow, and earnings per share. Plus, its return on invested capital is consistently high, a key indicator of a quality company. Ulta's stock is down about 28.24% over the past year, trading at $329.95 per share. But despite the dip, the company's fundamentals look solid. They've been buying back shares, improving their profitability, and maintaining a strong free cash flow yield. It's a stock worth keeping an eye on, and I'll be interested to see how Buffett's investment plays out. So, what do you think of these moves? Buffett's been selling off more stocks than ever, holding onto a massive cash pile, and making some intriguing new buys. It's clear that even the most seasoned investors like Buffett are navigating uncertain waters with caution. If you want to dig deeper into Buffett's portfolio, I've put together a free spreadsheet with all the details. Just click the link in the description or the pinned comment to download it. And as always, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. So, there you have it, the latest moves from Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway. Whether it's selling off a huge chunk of Apple, completely exiting Paramount Global, or quietly adding intriguing new stocks like Ulta Beauty, there's no doubt that Buffett is playing the long game with precision. But remember, even the Oracle of Omaha isn't right 100% of the time. What matters is how these decisions align with your own investment strategy. If you found this breakdown insightful, don't forget to grab your free spreadsheet with all the details on Buffett's portfolio by clicking the link in the description or pinned comment. It's a great way to dive deeper into the data and maybe even spot some trends for your own investments. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button. Every thumbs up helps the channel grow and reach more people like you. Also, subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss out on the latest updates and analysis from the world of investing. Thanks for spending your time with me today, and as always, feel free to drop your thoughts or questions in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think about Buffett's recent moves and how you're navigating these interesting times in the market. Until next time, happy investing.